Testing, testing. Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Ricknineg here. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely, lovely rainy Sunday. At least for me, it's a very rainy Sunday. Unfortunately, it's going to rain the whole week. And I had so much planned today. And I had this weekend, I had a car thing I was going to film for my European Motors channel. So that was kind of delayed till next weekend. But we have a great live stream planned for you today. I thought that said, let me see here. Hello, who are you? I don't know. Some people say I'm Ricknineg, but it's only speculation. Hey, how are you, Christine and Sandy? Awesome to see everyone on the live stream popping in, just like. So thank you, I appreciate it. And to new subscribers as well, welcome. Also the classic, I want to give you another name, but I kind of love classic because it's like, I do classic TV shows and movies, so it's like you're the classic subscribers. We hit 10,000 subscribers, guys and gals. Let's see if I can pull this up. Like, this is a live counter that is tied to the channel. Look at that. Live, it's moving. I just got one right now during the live stream. That is awesome. Ricknineg 10,021 as of now. That is a crazy number. 10,000. My high school I thought was huge, and that was 1,200. This is like almost 10 times that. That is nuts. So I'm doing fantastic. I'm really pumped up. I'm excited to talk to you about the episode we're going to be looking at today. But of course, we can talk about lots of things. I have lots of cool stuff planned. Lots of cool stuff planned for the future of this channel. Believe me, some secret things that I already know about that I can't even mention. That you'll just have to stay tuned and watch out for. So we're still looking at the Lucy-Desi comedy hour. We're kind of going in order. We're going to finish with the last episode, Lucy and the Mustache, and then come back to season 1 and go through all the episodes because I think it's really good. We get to learn a lot. I get to learn a lot. And yeah, it's just fun in general. Let me see here. Lucy wants a career. That's the one we're going to look at. This is a strange one for me because there's a tone of like sadness because Lucy and Desi, or Lucy and Ricky, are apart from each other. Now, Paul Douglas is in here and he's the big star, which is funny because if we go back to season 2, he's in here as well. He is in the sculptress. Lucy becomes a sculptress episode. Now, I noticed that these guys look the same, and I looked it up and I was like, yeah, this is the same guy. However, it was strange because when he walked in, no one really clapped. So I don't know if that was like on purpose. I don't know if he wasn't popular at the time. I really don't know how the logic happened for that. But let me see if I can look that up. Let's see. Sales resistance, inferiority complex, labor pains. Lucy goes to the hospital. Where is this? Sculptress, redecorating. It has to be here somewhere. Anyway, I'll look it up while we're talking here. But yeah, to me it's just strange that he wasn't given people didn't clap for him or anything like that. It's definitely let's see, the courtroom. I'm trying to find it. Lucy's pregnant. Show this swan song. Lucy Tudor. Sculptress. There we go. Yeah, Paul Harvey. Oh, Douglas. Oh goodness. Did I mess these up? Douglas and Paul Harvey. Yeah, my mistake. Goodness, not the same person. See what happens? I'm glad I looked this stuff up. Okay. All right, so let's start the episode. Lucy wants a career. We go boom. And there we go. So it's playing on this side, and we can definitely talk about it. I'm having a lovely, lovely Sunday. Empires of the Underground. That was a fun game. I still like it. Still enjoy it. Still love it. Still enjoy it. And thank you for the congratulations on the 10,000. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. Desi's always, or Ricky's always reading Variety. I think it was a thing, right? Variety. It was pretty popular. It had all the different things about theater and shows and things like that, right? It was mostly theater, I think. Let me go back and read you some of the facts on when this aired and what was going on, because we're getting to the last episodes of the comedy hour here. This is pretty much the end. Summer vacation's coming up next time. I love that. Okay, so we have Little Ricky played by Little Richard Keith, as well as Paul Douglas, Mr. Robinson, Pierre Watkin. Now, he played a couple other characters in other I Love Lucy episodes. We have Doris Packer, Miss Lowneck. Wow, they literally call her Miss Lowneck because she had a low Okay, Joy Lansing. Now, she was in other episodes. She was in one of the Florida ones as well. Miss Leg Girl. Wow, this Bart Andrews calls her Miss Leg Girl. Okay, Sue Casey. I guess that's the only way you could describe her. And there's other funny names. And Louis Nicoletti, one of Desi's best friends. That is awesome to see that they were still doing that. Now, this is interesting. In the late 40s, before I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz had the same problem as depicted in the show, where they would work, and the fact that they couldn't really see each other because they were working at different schedules, and so they would only see each other in between. And so it says Lucy had to rise early for her movie commitments, and Desi was working late at nightclubs. They used to meet early in the morning hours, also Blvd Boulevard, which is, in LA, on the side of the road to catch up with their lives. Isn't that crazy? Who knew about that? That was awesome to know. I mean, it wasn't awesome that they were missing time with each other, but yeah. Will I do more vlogs? Katie, what do you mean vlogs? Do you mean with the flying? Or which vlogs are you speaking about? We'll be doing these all summer. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I don't like to get ahead of myself. I never like to say what I'm going to do before I do it. It's like a YouTube #1 rule. Never say, it's also a magician's rule. I used to be a professional magician. You never say what you're going to do before you do it. As a magician, you don't say, I'm going to make this ball disappear. You just say, watch, and you do it. And then you never repeat a trick. That's the second rule. So, yeah, I'm going to keep that rule. For now, we're doing that, and we'll definitely think about the future. Cynthia, how are you doing? I'm doing great. You have a question about Ethel. Once I caught quickly a glimpse of a ring that Ethel wore. Did Vivi Vance ever wear her wedding ring? She did. You could see her in the episode with Philip Ober when they are in Hollywood. You can clearly see she's wearing a wedding ring, a wedding band, and Philip Ober is as well. And it's kind of funny, like someone said that they looked at each other and they glanced at each other in the episode. Maybe. I don't really think, though, that it was like a purposeful thing. I think it was just like I guess you can say improv, but it wasn't like in the script, like, like Ethel or the character of Ethel looks at Dory Sherry. It wasn't a thing like that. Maybe vlogs like going on adventures. I don't have tons of adventures. Some people think like I have a pretty, job. I go flying. Right now my life is flying, YouTube videos, and work. Those 3 things. And I'm not complaining because I'm pretty much enjoying my work. I love flying, and I love making videos, so I enjoy it all. Ron, let's see. You were watching a few episodes last night. When the sets changed and the living room had a blank wall with the piano. Later, the piano was gone and replaced with a plate glass window. Yeah, so I don't know if this is what you're asking about, Ron, exactly, but I can tell you that there was an episode where Lucy and Ethel were looking out the window. It was New Neighbors, I believe. It was way early, back in season 1. And they were hanging out the window with their arms out, and they were looking at the audience. So these are kind of 4 backgrounds, or backgrounds in the front. I don't know the technical term. And so, or facades from the front, so that the camera would look through, and it would seem like they were looking out the window, and then later they could just roll them out. It was just for certain scenes, and basically when you're looking through their apartment, because it's almost like we're in their wall, right? We're in the wall of their apartment, that you don't need to see the windows. You want to have an unobstructed view. So you do get that movie magic, that you can imagine. So hopefully that makes sense. Frank Garcia, you just saw the episode where Lucy had pregnancy cravings. Can you do a fact or fiction what she actually ate there? Oh, very, very cool. That would be awesome. I have to do a little research on that in terms of what she did, but definitely, I could definitely look that up for you and see what happens. Now, the whole dynamics of this episode changes to me, because you see Lucy's no more the housewife. Ethel kind of takes her place and becomes like a Lucy figure. Not silly, but she's taking care of the house. She's taking care of little Ricky. And then Fred is like at their place, like asleep most of the time. Ricky's working. And so the dynamic is strange. It's very strange because everything is changed up. And it's a little sad because like the group is broken up. So I don't know if you guys have seen this episode or even like it yourselves. Let me know in the chat. I would love to hear. Alec, what did you watch? Today you watched Lucy-Desi TV commercial. Okay, that's the Vita Benjamin commercial that people know about. And And the moment where she first tasted the vitamin of Benjamin was priceless. Yes, and you do know, I'm sure you know, Alec, because you're a big fan, that it was apple pectin, right, that she used. I don't even know what pectin is. I'm sure it's like a, I'm not going to say cough syrup, but like that type of consistency, right? It's almost like a jelly, like a melted jelly. Yes. Now, Arthur has a great question. If things never went sideways with Viv and Bill Frawley, because they had some friction going on there, do you think that the Murta spinoff would have worked? I think there would have been too many plot holes from the start. Yes, but I think they didn't have to have all those plot holes. Like, what plot holes? Can you let me know what plot holes you think? Because I think you just don't focus on them. Like, you would have them have the same apartment, for the most part. You would have them have different friends. They wouldn't hang out with the Ricardos as much. That's the only thing. And they did a lot more. They would have to, I guess, they wouldn't be in Connecticut. They would move back to the apartment. Like, yeah, there would be a lot of things that would need to change. Maybe they'd do something where they'd be, yeah, I'm going to call Lucy. And they would call her on the phone. But you wouldn't see Lucy as much. Maybe she would do a guest star. Maybe Desi would do a guest star. Things like that. They would have to hang out with new people because it would kind of be boring just the two of them, if that makes sense. But I don't know. All right. What episode are you watching? Siri came in late. Oh, you use Siri. That's awesome. So we're watching, or we're talking about Lucy Wants a New Career from the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour starring Paul Douglas. And this is the one where Lucy works on the show and Desi's working, and then they barely can meet each other. It's a strange dynamic. Enlightened, you searched Slime Rancher and you found me. Yeah, well, I play Slime Rancher. I do a lot of stuff on my channel. If you look and browse, I do tons of stuff. Aviation, gaming, I Love Lucy, TV shows, classic movies in general. So yeah, I do lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. I'm not a one-man show. Do it all like a Swiss Army knife. See? That's why people love Swiss Army knives, because you look, got a screwdriver. What else? Got one of these things. So yeah. So the plate glass window also had Superman. In that episode, where was the plate glass window? Trying to think. What part of the episode do you remember that from? I can't really think about that. Where exactly that was coming from. Are you adjusting to the time change? For the most part, I got up at the correct time, so no issues there. But yeah, it's one of those, I love this time. This is my favorite. Like, when there's more daylight, it's nice. It's it's just more chipper. I love the summer time change. Hey, Joe is here. How are you? Nice to see you. Awesome. Charles, nice to see you live. I'll chat with you live. Awesome. Chris, so was Lucy really a bad singer? No, she was actually pretty good. Now, if you would compare her to Vivian Vance, Vivian Vance was a classically trained opera singer. She did opera. She was fantastic. Now, Lucy, was she that good? No, Lucy wasn't that great. But she was fair. She was all right. She was good. So she would purposefully sing that way, so that, to get the laughs and to suit the character. And look at this, all of these beautiful young women coming in to play opposite of Paul Douglas, and Lucy's there looking all frumpy, and it's kind of a funny moment. I think this is one of the funniest parts of the whole episode, with her trying to look, attractive and everything for her to get the job. I think that was great. She has her hair shorter too. She's got that new do. Arthur, that mainly everybody will be where they move back to New York. Didn't? Oh, that's true, Arthur. You're right. That is true, right? So he did sell No, I don't think he sold it. I think he left Mrs. Trumble. Someone related to Mrs. Trumble was taking care of it. I don't think they sold it. I think they just had someone taking care of it, manage it. Because they were managing it and owning it when they were with Lucy and the Ricardos. Lucy, you got some splaining to do, but Lucy has Ricky. And so they never really said that. And I don't know where that came from. I've seen that online, but I really don't know where that comes from at all. Yeah, she was always trying to do the comedic portion. She was trying to be a comedian. So bad singing, all these things come into play, of course. There we go, Alec. I appreciate that. I wasn't sure who it was. Mrs. Trumble was pretty up there in age. I can imagine if it was an older sister or younger sister, but there we go. You got it. Mrs. Trumble's sister managed the building. Okay. Michael F. No, you guys can ask me anything that has to do with my channel. No problem. Yes, this is an I Love Lucy live thing, but it's not like you're forbidden. You can definitely ask me. So aviation, I make videos on my journey to my private pilot's license, basically to be a pilot. And I started from day one, and now I think we're in like 13, episode 13, somewhere in there. I have footage that I still need to make videos for. I have more footage that I can make now. Like, my lessons are I'm getting so many lessons that I'm falling behind on making the video. So, but they'll get up there. They'll get up there. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Angela. How are you doing today? Are you doing awesome? I'm doing awesome. Denise. Mrs. Trumbull took care of it. He mentioned selling it and having an orange orchard in Hollywood. So, he mentioned that he was thinking of selling it and getting an orange orchard, but that never went through, Denise, according to the storyline of the show. Remember, Ethel was saying, oh, please try to convince him. He has this crazy idea of trying to get this orange orchard happening. Never came about, at least in the show. So yeah, pretty cool. Now here Lucy is trying to convince all the girls that Paul Douglas is a wolf and that they would just get in trouble working with them. Wolf meaning that he was like a flirter and that, you know, he would flirt with all the girls. And so a lot of the girls run away. But some are really stubborn and some don't want to leave, and Lucy does her little bit of chaos there. Yes, it's Matt's hypnosis, Arthur, for the most part, that Lucy got some explaining to do. It's never really said. There's plays off of that in the sense of, Lucy, explain this to me, or, you know, but that phrase exactly like that, no. It's like, you ever heard of Star Wars and Luke, I am your father? You know, and it's like there's a play on that I think, I don't know. You guys any Star Wars fans? How's the quote? You guys will know. I'm going to butcher it. It's like, no, I am your father. It's not Luke, I am your father. Something like that. So yes. So yes. So yes. So yes. So yes. You also watch the operetta. You can see a lot of extras waiting off on the stage for their cues. Do you think that was a blooper? Well, definitely. I mean, for the most part, it was just the camera being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It caught the wrong thing. Most people probably never watched it when it originally aired. Now that we have better quality and so forth, and now we have HD, so we see more of the actual film. We don't see shorter, we see more of it, and even we see black on the top and on the bottom. Oh, excuse me, on the sides. Then yeah, it's more visible now, for sure. Desi's directing his own band. He actually directed that band. They also had Wilbur Hatch, that was the actual director, I guess you can say, because Desi would do it. Not that he couldn't, but the thing was, you know, they need someone who was a constant director of the band. So that's a good. And he mentions him. He says, Mr. Hatch, and this is back, I think, in the Vitamin to Benjamin episode. He mentions him, the actual orchestra band director. Yep. I think it is, Michael. I would keep that if I were you. The train episode on I Love Lucy. Well, you're a train supporter, so I'm guessing that's why you like that episode, right? Do you mean the Great Train Robbery, the one where there was the guy with the jewel thief and Desi was like attacking him and stopping him? Is that the one you're talking about? You like the all-girl band. That was a strange one because they had to bail out the girls because they really couldn't play, and so Ricky was like, well, let's just dress, or I think it was Lucy's idea, let's just dress all the male guys in the orchestra as women, and, you know, it worked out. It was pretty funny. I think it was more of a sight gag, you know. It worked out. Brad, and the same thing with Gary Grant. Ooh, awesome. Great question, Bob. If you could have one article of clothing or prop from the show, what would it be? Well, I actually know someone who has this real prop, and I think it would be great. I would love that phone. That phone was used by everyone. Fred, Ethel, Desi, Fred, Ethel, Lucy, and Ricky. And, yes, I do know the person who has the phone, so that would be cool. I don't even want to mention it because I don't know if they'd want people to know. Kind of a private person. I'll respect that. But yes, I would love the phone because the dresses, it's like, the dresses, they're cool. But like a phone is an article that, you can have there, you can see, you can show, you can even touch, and clothing, it's just like, well, it just kind of sits there. I guess a phone does too. But I don't know, a phone is more interesting to me. Awesome, Angela. You started your iDVD collection yesterday. Got stuck at Best Buy waiting for the rain to calm down. Finally raining in LA. Yes, I'm in LA, so I know how you feel. You watch on Hulu. Well, I'm glad you're catching up on this. Thea, I believe, or Thea, excuse me. She corrected me in a very polite way. She was saying, Rick, you don't know how to say my name correctly. No, she was like, Rick, by the way, you say my name like Theodore. So Thea. She has won this, and this was part of one of my giveaways that I did. I gave away a brand new sealed I Love Lucy first season DVD set, and Chad is going to be getting this. This has 3 or 4 episodes of the Lucy Show, and yeah, so I do giveaways once in a while, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe for that. You have to be a subscribed member to participate into these giveaways. You don't have to put any money down. You don't have to pay for shipping. You don't have to do anything except pretty much subscribe, leave a comment, and be one of the lucky winners. That's it. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool perk. You don't lose by just being in it. It's not like you have to give anything to it. So it's kind of cool. Let's see. How old am I? I'm older than 25 and younger than 81. Did Lucy have to dye her hair a lot for the show? So great question, Katie. I can't tell you how often, but I do know that Max Factor used to do her hair, and there's a Max Factor museum in Hollywood, California. I've been to it. I think you guys would really appreciate if I go there. Like, you would love footage of it, and I should do that. I should go to that museum. I've gone already, but I should go again, get on camera for you guys, make a couple episodes, because so Max Factor had that. It was like how can I say? It was like a hair place, and they used to have lady stars go there and have their hair done. So he used to have, and you could still go see it, a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead room. There were separate rooms, and in each room they had like the dyes for the blondes, the dyes, and so Marilyn would go there, Lucy would go into the red room, and you would have all these women, Jane Mansfield, all these women. And it was really cool because, so Lucy would have to go from her house to here, get her hair done, then drive a couple blocks down to the studio where she would film it, get her makeup done, and then basically go there and right next door. And so it was kind of cool. So I think, I'm not going to say weekly, but I'm pretty sure she kept on her hair so that for every episode it was nice and red. I mean, you didn't want to see any roots or anything or different color hair. So it's a great question. Cynthia, so you would want knickknacks. Any knickknacks in particular? The little statues on the back mantle above the fireplace? Any of those? Shelly, so interesting question here. What about the episodes with those eggs they were carrying in their pockets and they were smashed? So we're asking if they were real. They were completely real. The reaction was real, and Lucy never rehearsed with real eggs. The reason was she wanted to feel that icky feeling for real for the first time on camera. So I don't know what she practiced with before, but it was definitely not a faked reaction. Like, that was her, disgusting, like, I have eggs in me, they're smashed. They're like, I couldn't even imagine that. Brandness, if you won the lottery, you'd buy a house, you'd have a recreation of the Ricardo's Hollywood suite, as well as the main part of their country house. So why not the apartment? You don't like the apartment set? That's pretty cool. You would just have a museum. You would just make a museum. Is that what it is? That's funny. There we go, Alex J. My age is somewhere between the Speedy Cleaners and Goldblatt's Delicatessen. Yeah, that would make me anywhere between 40 and 50. Okay, let's tell people I'm between 40 and 50. There we go, Denise. I'll go with you on that. Thank you, Kippy, and don't forget that this will be on YouTube. It'll be there, hopefully forever and ever, so you can go back and watch it, whatever you missed, and it'll keep your spot. It's perfect. Oh, there's Lucy with Paul Douglas. She's trying to put the different weather things. So she's trying to put like a magnetized or suction cup of a sun on this side, of rain here, and they keep falling off. It's nice little slapstick. Nice little slapstick, kind of silent comedy there. It's really good. When did I become a Lucy fan? When I was 3 years old. In between 3 and 4 years old. And I know some people may not believe that. And my mom was always like, show people eventually that you were 3 years old and watching Lucy and Gilligan's Island. And I'm like, I know, Mom. I'm going to show them. I have so much content to put out. And so she's like, but make sure people know. So it's like, okay, I'll let them know. Those are the ones, the lamps. Yes, the lamps on the mantle. See, Chris, but it's good. I've gone to locations. I've gone to the 2 studios where they filmed I Love Lucy. And I don't want to do everything that other YouTubers do. I'm different. And so I don't know where they've gone, and I don't know which YouTubers you're referring to. But, I definitely know what you're saying, like to see these sites and so forth. So I have, and I will be going to other sites. I'm not going to mention which ones. But, yeah, they will be coming. Just stick around. It's one of those things where it's a nice balance of real locations with other content. And so, yeah, definitely. Every two weeks, a cup of henna to a gallon of water. I'll trust you. I have no idea the not the dimensions, but the equation there that you have to use. You like it when they traveled. So when they went to Europe, mostly? Charles, with that particular gag with the eggs, is the entire laugh... That's hard to say. Is the entire laugh left intact? Wow, is the entire laugh left intact? Or was it cut for the broadcast? It was cut for everything. It was cut for even the full version because it was just too long. It was just too long. I think it was over a minute, like literally a minute. You might think, it's not that long. Go with the timer and go for a minute and think about an audience laughing for that entire minute nonstop. That's a lot. Most laughs are like 10 seconds max. Okay, 5 seconds. Like think about ha 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 ha. 60 seconds. Yes. So great question. And yes. Yeah, you're right. Over a minute. I would say like 70 seconds, somewhere in there. A YouTube video of Ricky yelling at Lucy in Spanish with one scene they're in jail being released. Lucy has a pot on her head? I'm not sure what I know what that is. Lucy reads an article, band leader arrested murder spree. So, the pot on her head. Yeah, that's the episode called New Neighbors. Great question. So, New Neighbors, you have Hayden Rourke, which is awesome. He was on I Dream of Jeannie. And yeah, Lucy has a pot on her head at a different time, I think. I don't know if she had it that time. And yes, so it was I like that episode a lot. I think it's very underrated. It's super hilarious. Yep. I was answering, why not the Ricardo's apartment to be put in my house? Cool when they left the apartment. Ah, gotcha. Hello from Connecticut, Randy. Hello from California from my side. Still, is it raining? I can't tell. It's been raining the whole weekend, and that's really weird for LA. Like, really weird. Let me see here. Do viewers know about the Lucy-Desi Museum in Jamestown? Let me tell you, a lot of people mention the Lucy-Desi Museum on my channel, and it's incredible. It's really incredible because everyone's like, Rick, you should go, and I'm definitely going to go when I have a little bit more time, and vlog it. Make like a little journey. Vlog to Jamestown. That'd be so cool. And of course, all of you on the East Coast, let you know that I'm going so that maybe some of you can catch up with me, meet me there, say hello, and take a couple pictures and so forth. We can do all that. Who would be interested in that? That would be awesome. So, Lep, you love the William Holding show. It makes you cry. What makes you cry? Why does it make you cry? What part makes you cry? Michael, I Love Lucy was epic, but how does the Lucy show rate to this in your opinion? I think, in my opinion, Michael, and I've said this, is that nothing tops I Love Lucy, the half-an-hour episodes. I think the hour episodes have golden moments in them, even good episodes, but I think everything other than that, there was just the magic of the four. You have Lucy and Desi and Bill and Viv, and it was just like chemistry, like when you have a perfect cake and then you take some of the ingredients out of the cake and it's not as tasty. Kind of similar there. I think the Lucy show again had its great moments. I used to watch it, but it's like it's missing. It's just missing something. And so yeah, great question. Sweet Pea, I wonder if during that 1 minute laugh, did Lucy and Desi keep their composure? Oh, they did. Absolutely. Did they continue with the scene? They continued. They didn't stop. It's very strict on that set. Very professional. You don't stop. There are very few times when you stopped, unless there was a big error, and then they would cut. But they basically did not stop. It was filmed pretty much all the way through. But there, of course, when they would change locations, they would stop. But I mean, you don't just stop a scene for like laughing or something like that. Yep. Chris, would you collaborate with other YouTubers? I have with other smaller YouTubers, but yeah, if we reach out to each other, then definitely a good thing. Heather, it's been so long since you have been at the live chat. I'm doing amazing. Hopefully you're doing great. Lovely to see you, Heather. Hopefully you are doing awesome. Charles, your mother passed away in 2010. I'm sorry to hear that, but she had a favorite gag, so I'm glad we're bringing that up. Or Lucy got Ricky angry, and he started breaking furniture. The only time when it used to happen was when they were in Hollywood. Yep. For the breaking furniture, yeah, pretty much. When they were talking about Lucy and the, what was it called? Brain fart. The agent, where Lucy played the agent, and then she got him fired. Yep. Brad, do you have any favorite shows from the 80s? Oh, a lot. I used to watch Small Wonder. I used to watch Transformers. I used to watch, Creepy Crawl. Well, I think that was the kind of 90s. What else? Perfect Strangers was awesome with Balky and Larry. What else? Well, I guess Seinfeld counts. Started in 89. A lot of it's in the 90s. Tons of shows. Name a couple shows, and if it's comedy, I pretty much would love them for sure. Frank Garcia, in your earlier episodes, there's a prominent female laugh. Do you know who that prominent female was? Great question. The only one who's really stands out and people mention is Dee Dee, Lucy's mom. And she was at every taping, as well as Desi's mom was at every taping. And Dee Dee was the OO lady, as they say. Yes. Aleda. Oh, very, very cool name. Aleda. Yeah, you like the half-hour episodes as well. Train Supporter, do you have a favorite book on Lucy and Desi to recommend? I Love Lucy book by Bart Andrews. There's also the Desi book, which I've heard is not that accurate. But see, here's the thing. You have to look at all these sources like you would in an academic way. You look at the sources, you look at the information, you believe it. And then you compare it to other sources, and then you see where there's conflict. And then when there's conflict, you have to do a little bit of research, maybe get a third source. And I do that. That's part of the work that I do on my channel. I do all this stuff off camera, and I try to compare these sources. And if they're too conflicting and I don't have an answer, just like Tallulah and Desi and them not getting along, I leave it to you. I give you both sides, and I let you guys decide, because apparently I've heard that Desi and his book is not authoritative, but also you got to give him credit too. You have to assume that he's not just lying throughout the book. You know, everyone exaggerates, everyone fluffs things up, but you can't say that everyone's lying when they write a book too. So I'm very open to things, but I also like to compare sources. So that's very, very good that you asked that question about the books. When the tray of food falls and he got the whole pie in his face. Is there a Lucy-Desi museum in Palm Springs? I don't think so. Not that I know of. There may be. There might be. You should hear how much that annoyed Michael Richards about him having to wait for the audience to stop laughing. Yeah, Michael Richards was I think they call it method acting, right? And so he got into the part, and he didn't like cutting. He didn't like getting out of character. He was really involved. I would compare him to Lucille Ball. Like, they were very similar in the way they acted. Perfectionists. Rowan Atkinson, also known as Mr. Bean, if you guys know. Same thing. We think he was very improv. He's not. He practices every mannerism, every twitch of the lip, every facial feature down to the T, obsessively, so it comes out perfect. To me, that's crazy. If I would be a comedian, I would do more improv. I don't know if I could like replicate. That would be scary to me, to replicate something like perfect like that. Scott, great question about shortening a scene where there was a lot of kissing. Now, in season 1, there were really deep kissing moments, and I think we should mention that because season 1 was very early on in TV, 1951, 1952. And so the fact that they had these kisses, sometimes it irks me because I'm like, how did they not like object to that? And it almost seems like as the show went on, their kisses became less like passioned. Compared to season 1, like really look at those episodes, guys and gals. Like Lucy, like there's an episode with Jean Valjean Roman, the Frenchman, Adagio. Lucy's like upset with him, and they give each other a kiss, and it's like so passionate. It's almost like I would never ever see something like that in season 5 or 6, where they're just pecks, if that makes sense. Cheers, Golden Girls, Alf. I used to watch Alf. Dallas. I used to watch the Golden Girls. I saw a few episodes of Cheers, absolutely. Dallas, I actually met, and the director, Michael Priest, he came to my house once. Kind of random thought, but yeah. So he was the director of Dallas, or I think one of the directors, or one of the main directors, yeah. Well, thank you, Torres. I appreciate it. I'm doing a great job. Well, thank you. I should button this up, look more professional. Randy, you liked my video on the script memorization. Awesome. Thanks for mentioning that. And I really, really hope that you guys liked that and enjoyed it. If not, take a look after this. There's a episode I put up yesterday on Lucy and her memorization technique. How'd she memorize all that stuff, right? How'd she memorize all those lines on the show? I'm just playing with my army knife now. What's your opinion of Desi? I think Desi was awesome. I think he was a genius. I think acting-wise, he was very underrated. He was super funny. He really had no formal acting classes, as where Lucy took acting classes. And she was told that she wasn't that great, which is funny. And she wanted to be funny with her body, and they were like, no, ladies don't do that. That's like a Chaplin thing. It was kind of cool to mention that, but keep that in mind. I might have to make episodes on that. Desi pioneered the 3-camera system. He pioneered having bleachers with an audience. He pioneered doing it live in terms of like a theater, and then broadcasting it later. I mean, he was the genius behind all of that. Doing it in a TV studio, keeping the rights. So I'm very, very, very much into him and all that he did. Very appreciative of him and all he did for TV. Dick Van Dyke Show. You like the Dick Van Dyke Show as well. You guys like Golden Girls. Let me see. Charles, you were shocked by one episode in which they implied that they just spent quality time. We should remember the line, but it raised my eyebrows somewhat. I think so, but you know what? Call me a prude or whatever. I never make that connection. Maybe because I was younger or whatever, but I listen to it now, and I feel like it's a connection that just someone made, and then everyone like wants to make it. That's just my opinion, okay? You don't have to believe it. You could disagree with me, respectful. We can all disagree. But it just seems to me like, no, like it could have been something else. I just don't really think it was that. Oh, and there's Dr. Peterson from the Passport episode. He's just sitting there like being an extra. And so I don't know. I think it definitely could be, but I just think like the censors would have been on that. And I don't think it would have been that risque. Like that is something they used to do on like Home Improvement in the 90s. I just still think in the 50s, like that was just, I mean, they couldn't say the word pregnant. And so I think even suggestive, it would have been tough. So I don't know. That's just my thought. But it's a good question. Yep, Desi was so talented. Untouchables, Lucy making an okaying Star Trek, which my opinion, gave way to Star Wars. Like that whole space sci-fi universe was due to Lucy. Like it was. I don't think there's really a good argument unless someone could create one. But yeah, I don't think it's possible in that sense. You read that the egg episode laugh is the longest recorded in history. Do you know if that's true? I've heard that, Angela, and I believe it is true. I haven't seen anyone that is stacked up or any like anyone trying to debunk it. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Charles, I think underrated in the sense people don't give him enough credit. I think he deserves more credit. I think people, it's like Lucy. It's like, yes, but it's like Lucy and Desi. Like, yes, it was her show. But Lucy owes a lot of her success. And I'm not downplaying her. I'm upping him. up to Lucy, because again, she brought him on, but he catapulted that show into success. She did it on camera. He did it on and off camera. Lucy was very hands-off with the show, what was happening around. Like, she kind of took control, but not really. She took a passenger seat to Desi. Now, when Desi got out of the picture, and she did a lot for the Lucy show and for TV and for Carol Burnett, of course. But again, I think Desi is not given enough credit, for sure. Like, I don't really see many people saying, yeah, who pioneered the 3-camera system? Desi. Like, most people don't mention him. They don't know it, I think. Off to grade papers, Frank. You sound like me when I was a teacher. I do know the difficulty of that, so have a great week. Be hopeful, and don't let it get you down, all those papers. Jeff, you want me to start all over again? Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Don't worry, you can watch. Remember, you can watch the rest of it when you have a free opportunity. It'll be on YouTube. Ja Torres, what's your opinion on Desi singing? I enjoyed it. Like, I have an aunt. My aunt, she's great, and she watches Lucy all the time. She said she doesn't like Desi when he sings because he's like trying to show off. I would disagree with her respectfully. I would say that I enjoy singing. It's fun in its own way. I like the accent. I like him just singing all these Cuban melodies and Spanish songs. I like it. I could understand every word, so I enjoy it. Shot sandwich? I have never heard of that. No. I think maybe. I don't know how true that is. Do you like the color episodes? I have a few. That's not it. Where are they? Did I move them? Here it is. Here's one. These are the Superstar specials. I definitely have these in color. I may give some of these away in the future. But for a giveaway, would you guys like some of these color ones? And I love them. I love them for what they are. I don't think I would prefer them in color as opposed to black and white. I like the black and white tones to them. The color, I think, gives me a good idea of what it would be like in color. So, yeah, I enjoy both. Congrats on 1,000. Thank you. Okay, Arthur, the end of the cabin episode where Elaine knows about Jerry saying that line about her mother. Yes. Seinfeld's a little risque. It's a little risque, for sure. Let me see here. Let's see, Bradness. Lucy and Desi's respective roles for I Love Lucy is one of the many things that made so magical. I'm with you on that. I would agree. Without that, there would have been no greatness in the show. Lucy's acting being funny. Desi was behind the scenes, but also on screen, too. On screen. It's super important. He was one of the best straight men to Lucy, like, not laughing. Desi would just laugh at Bill Frawley. Like, I think that's funny. You could not hold a straight face with Bill Frawley. Bill Frawley was said to be the funniest Offset all the time. He was just hilarious. Rick, comedians steal from one another. I see what you mean, but I also believe that everyone piggybacks off the idea of great men and women coming before them. You cannot say that Chaplin didn't steal from vaudeville, because he did. You can't say that vaudeville eventually stole from the Greek theater and comedy, the great comedias and things like that. So I wouldn't necessarily say steal. Steal is if you like steal a line from someone's, plagiarism. So I wouldn't use that word particularly, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, like Dick Van Dyke took from Laurel and Hardy. Do you think... Well, Ron, that's a great question, so let me continue with that. Because remember, Lucy acted very, very young, at 20-something, 22 years old, with the Stooges. And with the Marx Brothers. And when she acted with the Stooges, it was one of the first episodes, the first shorts. But with the Marx Brothers, when she acted with them in, I think it was Room Service, they were older. And so you cannot say that she distinguished, that she didn't take anything from them, the comedy. I mean, it's just how it works. It's just like today's comedy, Big Bang Theory, has to borrow from a show like I Love Lucy, And so I definitely see that. And I wouldn't say stealing again. But this is great talk. I love these topics, guys and gals. Great. Just bring it on. Chad, look at that. Hitting it with a great and awesome Wow, donation. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. So Chad says 10,000 subscribers. I was almost going to say 1,000. Like, I can't even believe saying 10,000. That is nuts. Great accomplishment. 20,000 will be here before you know it. I know, which is nuts because it took me, 3-4 years to get to 10,000? So 20,000, who knows how long? You know it before you know it. Will you be doing your aviation for a living or just a fun hobby? You know, that's a great question. Let me give it to you this way. I don't know how life's going to go, but I'm taking it very seriously. Let me just say right now, and I don't know where life is going to lead. But I didn't go into it thinking it's going to be a hobby. I'm not going to say it's going to be a career. I don't know, because in aviation, there's a lot of avenues. There's a lot of things that will be open. So we'll see if I'll go for a living route. I think it's kind of pointing in that direction, but I don't know. You know, I don't want to say for sure. I'm just seeing how well I like it, how well I learn it, if I want to continue, because then we get into the more complex stuff. So that's a great question, and I appreciate it. I used to watch Andy Griffith a lot, Andy Griffith Show. So be hopeful. Thank you, Chad. You're awesome. Let me see. Ernie Kovacs. So Ernie Kovacs, I've heard, was pretty awesome. He was like a magician, a comedian, like everything, right? Randy, after watching some sitcoms from the same era, it's easy to see that the writers they had for I Love Lucy are far superior, along with the chemistry. Now, Randy, let me tell you something, and let me let you think about this, that a lot of writers from shows like today, look how many writers Big Bang has. Like, tons of writers. Like, I'm not going to give you a number, but over 3. I Love Lucy had 3. Jess Oppenheimer, Madeline Pugh Davis, and why am I doing all these fingers? Jess Oppenheimer, Madeline Pugh Davis, and Bob Carroll Jr. They were a husband and wife team. That's it. Okay, yes, later they added Bob Schiller and Bob Weitzkopf, okay, and Desi Arnaz even did a little bit of writing later on, okay, but you have to understand, 3 writers, not even that, Jess Oppenheimer was the executive producer too, and so can't even count him as like a dedicated writer. It was 2. Look up a show right now and tell me that has 2 writers. It's not possible. These shows have like 5, 10, even more writers. And so it's nuts to think how great this team was. That although they had, now this is a great slapstick thing with Lucy and Desi, and Lucy being super like on sleeping pills, and Paul Douglas and Desi helping her. And I don't know how Desi's keeping a straight face, because this is hilarious. Lucy's like dead body, like dead body flapping around. It's hilarious. It's one of the funniest in this episode. In fact, one of the funniest in the comedy hour. I don't know how they do this. How Lucy can keep a straight mouth. How Desi can. You can kind of see him cracking a little bit, but continuing. He's hoisting her on his shoulders. Like, this is funny. And this is hilarious. And Paul Douglas behind. Oh my gosh. It's just ridiculous. I'm going to have to look at that, Arthur, to see how much they laughed during that. But we'll definitely have to see. Brad, Andy Griffith Show, a lot of people have asked me, but I definitely have to say that I want to stick with shows that I know about, that I really know front to back, and Andy Griffith isn't one of them. To do the work that I do on I Love Lucy, I have seen every episode, and this is not an exaggeration, probably 100 times. I know people say that, but like literally minimum, okay? I know these shows front to back, forward to back. Again, no one's perfect, right? It's not a perfection. But Andy Griffith's show, I've seen episodes here and there. And so in order to do that, I would have to watch everything and then study the show. It would take a lot of time. And so I'm doing that with some shows behind the scenes that I'm not even mentioning. And so it's a lot of work. And so the reason why I do I Love Lucy, Gilligan's Island, is because I know these shows a lot more. I watch them still. I watched Gilligan's Island last night. I watched Lucy last night. Last night? No, not last night, but the night before last. And so I see what you mean, and I'm not saying that I won't do that in the future. I may, but to get into some of these shows, it's like that. Hogan's Heroes, I know fairly well, so that may be something I will get into. Three Stooges, I know fairly well. Marx Brothers, I've seen all their movies, except for 1 or 2, I believe, that are really hard to find. But yeah. Let me see. Oh, Shot Sandwich, what is that reference to Lucy in Aladdin? I would love to know. So Angela, great picking up on this. The chocolate episode is funny with the girls, but the men were so fantastic. See, and the men were so underrated in that episode. No one talks about the guys there. They were hilarious in the kitchen. Fred was funny with the rice overflowing and the chickens coming down. I think that's hilarious. That's one of the best episodes. And it's not just the girls. Like, that was just what everyone remembers, which is great, right? But the guys too. It was just they were just amazing as a team. Have I covered the Lucy statue? I have not yet. Nope. Heather, I Was Sunny in Philadelphia has 3 writers. See, that's rare. Let me tell you, right, Heather? If you know other shows, you definitely know. I'm not comparing to I Love Lucy, but I think the less writers, the more mainline the show remains. Doesn't go off track in your opinion. That's true. But I think a lot of these shows get scared to have so little writers. They're like, we need more material, so we need more writers. It's good to have a mix too, but it's hard to find good writers, to be honest with you. And a lot of people say everything has been done. And I don't want to believe that. It's like, that's almost like saying every book has been written already. It's like, really? No, not possible. Arthur, I'm going to read your quote because I think this is interesting. I personally never got The Big Deal with Andy Griffith Show. Kind of overrated. I guess it depends who you ask, because some people really love that show, and I used to watch it, but very casually, just something to watch. I never really got into the story. But yes, that's a Desilu production as well. And so I definitely see your side on that. I definitely understand what you're saying. Now, Get Smart, I really like. That may be something that I get into in the future, so just keep that in mind. I know nothing. Schultz is hilarious. Super funny. All the actors, not counting Bob Crane, were Jewish, which is hilarious too. Like, it's just like a parody, it's amazing, that show. But again, you have to like the war theme, and which I do love. Yeah, Cole Porter wrote great songs. Absolutely. Train Supporter, have you seen the I Love Lucy exhibit at the Hollywood Museum? I have, and it's not really an exhibit. There's not much there. Are you talking about the one at the Max Factor? It's really, there's like 2 items, and I don't even remember seeing them. It's really not focused on Lucy at all. Not worth it if you're a Lucy fan. Worth it for other stuff, but not worth it for that. Yeah, great question. Oh wow, the episode finished. That was quick, guys and gals, so I do have to go because I have to go somewhere. But any last-minute questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. When Jafar and his parrot heard that someone might be beheaded, they knew famous. Ooh, awesome. That was great. I have to look at that. I was really young when I watched that. Oh, champagne for everybody, Chad? There we go. Chad said it down again. He answered his own question. Yeah, I would say Bradness, that was the thing about the Andy Griffith Show. There was no, like, brash comedy, and I love the big stuff. I'm not to say that small stuff isn't good, but it's a lot smaller. But Seinfeld has a lot smaller stuff, in essence. So, I don't know. It's just tastes, Yes. Get Smart. One of the writers, Mel Brooks. That is true, and Mel Brooks is pretty funny. So, hopefully you guys will have an awesome weekend. Chad, you hit it out of the park. I'm going to be mailing your DVD hopefully tomorrow, but at least, early in this week. And Thea will be getting her DVD. I will be doing more giveaways in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. A lot of you on the chat. 10,000 subscribers, guys and gals. It's going to be up from here. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you next time. And don't forget, be hopeful.